Hi, everybody. Justin from SiteSwan here, and I am psyched for this session today on how to present a website mockup to a prospect. Now, you might be wondering why we're doing a whole webinar on this. It's because I see an opportunity for improvement with our SiteSwan resellers. I feel like I haven't effectively communicated to everyone exactly how important this aspect of the sales process truly is. The truth is, presenting a website the right way is just as important as designing a website the right way. You can put an amazing design in front of a small business owner that you think speaks for itself, but it doesn't. It can't. It needs to be accompanied by a presentation. And there is a systematic approach to presenting a website to a client. It's a proven formula. This is a process I personally developed all by myself. And while refining it over time, I've used it to sell hundreds of small business website clients. And I've taught it to my associates who have found equal success in the process. And now it's time for me to teach it to all of you. It's been a secret that I haven't clearly spelled out for all of you up to this point, but that changes today. Now, you might have heard me refer to this as a homepage presentation in the past. I tend to use the terms interchangeably, but it's basically the concept of showing off to the client or the prospect what they will be getting from you, combined with you asking for the sale and closing the deal. For those of you who are here and already active SiteSwan resellers, it's great to have you and thank you for being a part of the SiteSwan family. I cannot wait for you to start using what I'm showing off here today. For those of you who are not yet on board with us, I'd like to take a quick second to introduce ourselves to you before we get into this. And hopefully, what I share with you will give you a little more confidence and assurance that you can, in fact, start your own web design business with SiteSwan and make a success of it. So, SiteSwan is a website design business in a box. We launched SiteSwan back in 2011. That's right, we're celebrating 11 years in 2022. And we are now more than ever 100% committed to the growth and success of our clients and resellers. We're headquartered in Long Island, New York, and all of our development, all of our coding, sales, etc., everything is done right here in the United States. You have a high quality platform built from the ground up by people who are passionate about helping businesses grow and helping you grow because we give you everything you need to start, run, and grow your web design business. We're not just an awesome website builder, but we are that too. The SiteSwan platform is the only truly all inclusive package for web design. SiteSwan has been loved and used by over 1,800 agencies, designers, and entrepreneurs globally. We've got stellar reviews online about us, and we're recognized by Capterra, a software review company, as a top website builder 2 years running, and we're honored to have that distinction. Let's start our discussion today by zooming out a little bit on presenting the website mockup and figuring out where exactly does that come into play during the sales process. Now, keep in mind, if you're using any other platform to build websites, you may not be following these steps exactly in this order. In fact, there might be a lot more steps. What I'm showing you here is specifically how to go about the sales process in 5 steps when you're using SiteSwan. The first step is to prospect. Of course, prospecting is figuring out who you're going to approach about a new website for their business. And here's where you're going to research businesses in your area, figure out who has a site, who doesn't, who's got a crummy site, an outdated, old, dilapidated site, who has a site without a valid SSL certificate, a site that's not mobile friendly. You all know there's a million reasons why people are ready to move on from their existing website or, of course, get their first website. Now, if you're using SiteSwan, you'll likely use our local prospecting tool to take care of this step, which takes the guesswork out of seeing who needs a site in your neighborhood. We basically provide you with your call list. And then using this information, you can move on to the next step, which is to pitch. The pitch is basically connecting with the business owner, either by phone, in person, over email, social media messaging, whatever, and telling them that you have a website design that you're eager to show to them. Once you have an agreed upon time to show them the site, now you move on to the third step, which is to create the site. Lucky for you, SiteSwan's instant site creation feature allows you to effortlessly build a professional, beautiful, mobile optimized site for a small business using one of our over 200 industry specific themes. For those of you who don't know, our instant site creation feature will actually inject all of the details about the business into the site for you, even optimize the SEO settings on the site, all with just one click. This might actually be the fastest step of all. Um, Maybe you take a quick minute to pop their logo into the site design, and after that, it's time to present the site to the prospect. And this is where you go over the entire site with the prospect. Walk them through it, answer questions, wowing them in the process. Finally, step 5 is to close the sale. You're collecting payment information and setting up their monthly recurring payments for the website maintenance fee, which is a very logistically simple step to complete if you're using SiteSwan's built-in client billing feature with credit card payment processing. Now, these last two steps, presenting and closing, should actually all happen during one conversation with the client. But all too often, I'm hearing stories and seeing some of our SiteSwan resellers skipping these steps entirely. They're just shooting off the link to the site and then waiting to hear back. And that is not ideal. That's what I call the send it and forget it approach. Don't do it. Some of you guys have sold a fair amount of sites this way, and that's fantastic, but there are some considerable problems with this approach. For example, you have no idea if or how they saw it. Did they spend 10 minutes on it or just glance at it? You don't even know if they actually viewed the entire thing or what device they looked at it on. You're in the dark and it's not good. Another problem is that you don't know how they feel about it. You're unable to get their knee jerk reaction to it, and that puts you at a disadvantage because they're left to make assumptions about things that may not be correct. Another thing is that, you could have a situation where they have questions that, without answers, could mentally prevent them from going forward and signing up with you. On top of that, they may not get back to you right away. They might ask for a day or two to review it, and then what happens? Well, the design, the experience is not fresh in their head, nor the questions they had when they first saw it, which can create a problem in your communication. So, if you send it and forget it, you might think, well, if they love it, they'll get back to me. It'll be an easy sale. But instead, you wait, you wonder, and the sale never happens. Think about the last thing you bought that you had a chance to try before you buy. I always use the example of a vehicle that you test drive or a perfume or cologne that you spray on yourself in the store before you buy. I remember the last time that I bought one, the woman behind the counter says, "This is a bold yet refreshing cologne with top notes of mandarin tree, a nice woody aroma that provides depth. And you'll notice notes of Virginia cedar wood and white pepper, which actually add a warmth that can really boost your confidence." She sprays it on me, shows me the stylish packaging, and then asks a very important question. What do you think? She even complimented the way it smells on me. This is a proven sales technique, making a presentation to accompany the product or service. It worked on me, and it's incredibly effective with website sales if you do it the right way. And that's why we're here today, to dig into that process, break it down for you, and teach you how to do it yourself. To do a proper website mock-up presentation, I've come up with 5 rules for you to follow, but they're simple, I promise. Okay. Number 1 is to present it live. Now, it doesn't have to be face to face, but it needs to happen in real time. So, whether you want to do it at their place of business or over the phone, shouldn't affect the quality of the presentation, but you don't want to just send them a link to review on their own time, even if that's what they ask for. Don't do it. Usually, doing the pitch stage of the sales process is when you're scheduling this time to do the presentation at the client's convenience. And before you begin the presentation, I want you to get in the mindset that you are leading the conversation. You're giving them the grand tour. This is the big reveal. You dictate the speed and the flow of the conversation and ask them not to scroll or jump ahead. that they stay with you for the whole thing. Drawing their attention to certain words or images and actually reading some sections to them will help them stay with you. Then the presentation itself needs to start at the very top of the site and end at the very bottom of the site. Highlight each individual section of the site and its purpose. Explain how each element will benefit them or their business. One trick I like to tell people is pretend the prospect is constantly asking you, wait, why is that like that? Or why'd you do it that way? Stating the importance and the purpose of each section of the site will give them the impression that you consciously made the decision to do what they're looking at, which increases their confidence in your work and will in turn reduce their objections or requests to make edits, which is very important. And you've always got to get their feedback. That's number 4. When you get through the whole homepage, ask what they think about it. Get their knee jerk reaction to what you've done for them because it's a great way to get honest feedback, which, look, whether it's positive or negative, it's important to get it because it lets you segue into the next rule, which is to ask for the sale. Look, if you want to make a sale, you've got to ask for it. Prompt them for their method of payment or credit card number. And look, the whole reason why you're all here on this conversation, this presentation, is to get them a new site and as soon as possible. So you're not, going out on a limb or, overextending the ask by simply requesting their credit card information, asking for the sale. Okay. So, in a nutshell, you're not going to just say, look at the pretty website. Isn't it nice? Please don't do that. This is a presentation. Make the most of this time together and let me demonstrate. So now I'm going to go through a homepage presentation with you. Now I'm going to do this exactly how I would if I was pitching the client. Let me just switch my screen up. And for the purposes of our demonstration today, I'm using a real business that I found using SiteSwan's local prospecting tool to find a local roofing company near our office. And look, the very first one on the list was without a website right here, Ace Roofing and Siding. Okay. So what I did, I clicked create site. Notice how all the information about the business gets pre-populated here. I chose a theme that was appropriate, like this one for a roofing contractor. And then that's pretty much what I'm showing you today. I think I swapped out their logo because I was able to quickly find it online, and that was about it. So here's what I would do, right? So if I'm in my SiteSwan dashboard, I'm going to find the site that I created for Ace Roofing and Siding. I'm going to take this URL and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to send this off to the client. And they are going to be clicking on it. And when they do, let's pull up the site. Here it is. It's coming. Notice how I swapped out the logo. All right. So let's do this. Let's pretend I'm on the phone with the prospect. And here's how it might sound. Ace Roofing and Siding, thank you so much for making time to see the website design we've been working on. We're super excited to share it with you. Now, before I begin, I just want to confirm you're on a laptop or a computer. Is that correct? Awesome. All right, good. I just sent you the link in your email. Can you click on that? Let me know when the site loads. It's loaded? Perfect. Now, I know you're probably tempted to start scrolling and clicking through the site because you're excited to see it. And I'm excited to show it to you, but please just stay with me because there are some really important things I would like to point out. And let me start with looking at your logo. So the very first thing you're going to notice is your logo in the top left. And that's the most logical place that consumers will look to find a business's logo. So that's why we put it up here. And it looks great on a white background because of these colors in your logo. It really pops. Speaking of colors, I've taken the colors from your logo and applied them to the rest of the site. So everything looks and matches with your branding. Now, in the top right, you're going to notice the navigation where it says Home, About Us. That is where people can click to visit the other pages of your website. Notice how I am projecting we're going to have 6 pages of content. A home page, of course, is what we're looking at today. The About Us is going to go into more detail about your business. The services page is what's going to outline all the major services you provide so people can identify with those. The gallery page is going to have photos of your recent work. The reviews page is going to have as many five-star reviews we could possibly find about you, put them all up there. And then the contact page will obviously allow people to reach out, submit their information so that you can get prospects and leads through your website. Now, this main image, the blue house, notice the text to the left of it. It says the best roofing company in Woodbury. Now, you're located in Woodbury, New York. And the reason why we chose this as the lead text is because lots of times people are typing in roofing company in Woodbury or best roofing company in Woodbury. And this is what we're going to help you come up in search results for. And plus, why not feature, the best roofing company in New York in Woodbury as your lead content? Right below that, look at this, it says at Ace Roofing and Siding. We offer quality craftsmanship and superior services at fair and honest prices. We felt that was a great way to introduce people to what you do. Below that is your phone number in red writing that is clickable or tap to call on a mobile device, which is super important. About 50% of the people who come to your site are going to do so from a mobile device. So it's important we're keeping that in mind as this is a fully responsive mobile friendly design. This big, bold red button that says get a free quote is going to give people the option to go right over to your contact page, submit their information so you can capture that data. Okay, but scroll down with me a little bit here. Now you notice the red divider with the little peaks of the house with the little window. You'll see that a couple more times throughout the site because that's how we kind of divide some sections. Now, this blue section where it says request your free estimate, even though we just gave people an option to link over to your contact page to submit their information, we didn't want to make them have to do that if they don't want to. So here's where we're going to lead capture right from underneath the main section of your homepage. As soon as someone fills out this information, it goes right into your inbox and you can contact them immediately. Scroll down with me to the next section with the guy on the roof. Now, to the right of that, look how it says, welcome to Ace Roofing and Siding, top rated roofing contractor in Woodbury, New York. And below that, we are a full service roofing company located in Woodbury. We serve a wide variety of residential and commercial clients. This is going to be introducing people to your business and giving them a quick idea of what you're all about. When people get to the homepage, it's important that they can identify what the business is about as early as possible when they get there. And look, there's a read more button. That's where people can click to get the full story about your company. Scroll down with me to the next section, the blue section, where it says areas of expertise. Now, it says we specialize in roofing and exterior renovations. And look, we have what we feel are the four most important services to highlight for your business: residential roofing, commercial roofing, siding and gutters, and windows. This is what we felt needed to be highlighted so people, your consumers, could very easily identify with one of these four major categories, since that's where your primary focus is. And of course, these learn more buttons under each of these four columns will take them to the services page where they can dig in for additional information about these services. Now scroll down with me a little more to the white section where it says all services are backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. So what we understand and what you probably do as well is that consumer satisfaction is incredibly important. And when consumers see that you stand behind your product and service, it builds confidence in them that you want them as a client, that you care about the consumer experience. So we felt it was super important to feature that on the homepage as well as accompany it with all the additional, I would say, sub services that you offer, because having this information on here will once again allow consumers to identify with you guys about the service they need and also understand that you offer comprehensive services for all exterior needs. Now, let's go into the blue section, scroll down a little bit more. And I wasn't sure if you actually offer financing or not, but I felt the need to pop this in because look, getting a new roof, getting siding done, it ain't cheap, right? You know that as well as I do. So we wanted to give people the knowledge that if they don't have the however many thousands of dollars it's going to take to do the job today, that they still can get the work done today and then finance it over time. So if that's not something you offer, we can remove it. But if it if it's something that you may consider offering, or if you are offering it, I would definitely recommend you featuring it on the homepage like this. Let's scroll down to the Why Choose Us section, the guy with the hard hat. And here is a great section that we've assembled for you where it says, what sets Ace Roofing and Siding apart from other roofing companies? And this is a question a lot of consumers are asking themselves. Why Ace Roofing and Siding? Why should I choose them over the competition? And here's where we highlight, the fact that you offer free, no pressure estimates, that you offer fully your licensed and insured workers and as a company, and also you offer quality craftsmanship, reliable service with competitive, no surprise pricing. Now, I need to point out that this is all professionally written content that we put together for you. It's not only engaging and relevant, but it's also search optimized. Whereas most web design companies will rely on you to provide the content or charge extra to write it, we go the extra mile to ensure that we present your business in the best light possible and that your site is optimized for Google search results. Okay, let's scroll down to the red section. So, this is what we call the stats bar. And we have the year you established, the number of projects you've completed, the number of five-star reviews you've got, and of course, your satisfaction guarantee. This is a great way to kind of break up the page as well as call out to some, which could be very large numbers, sometimes larger numbers than you'd think, that make your business look big. Obviously, no one wants to be doing work with a roofing company that's only done one roof before. Okay. So here we can instill some confidence in the consumer that you know what you're doing, you've got the experience to back it up. Let's scroll down to the customer testimonials section. So notice how we're putting 4 testimonials here. Of course, they're all 5 stars. And I'll read the first one to you. Ace Roofing and Siding did an outstanding job and exceeded all of my expectations. The whole crew was professional and courteous, and everything was done in a timely manner. Thanks for a great experience. It's important to have testimonials on your homepage of your website because, again, consumers don't want to do business with a company that doesn't have any other clients. No one wants to be the first roof that a roofing company is putting on. And this is a great way to also highlight the fact that you have a variety of consumers with a variety of needs. And it's best to feature reviews with different types of work that you've done for these folks so people once again can identify with the service that they need at that time. Scroll down to the blue section with me. I know it's a long homepage, but there's a reason for this. Check this out. Get a free estimate. So the reason we're putting, yes, a second contact form on your homepage is because even if they didn't fill out the first form, even if they didn't click to go to the contact us page, they've scrolled down this far. Why make them click? Now they might be ready to submit their information. Maybe they weren't at the top of the page, but now they are ready to submit their information. They don't have to do anything except fill out this form, click submit, and then once again, this information gets sent directly to your inbox so that you can call on that customer and hopefully schedule that free estimate. At the very, very bottom of this page, you're going to see a dark blue section that says about roofing, about Ace Roofing and Siding, and this is what we call the reference panel. The reference panel has the most important information about your business. It's who you are, it's where you're located, it's a clickable map with directions, hours of operation, the payment methods you accept, links to social media. Everything's all here. And look at the bottom where you have the bottom navigation. Okay, this is not going to require anyone to scroll to the top of the page to access your navigation. And by having this information on the bottom of every single page of the site, including this reference panel, if they end up on the services page or the reviews page, they don't have to navigate anywhere to say, wait a second, whose site am I on? What's this business all about? They just scroll to the bottom and see all this information. And it's also great for search. All right. So now that you've seen the entire homepage from top to bottom and all the hard work that we've put into this, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on what we've done. And that's your homepage presentation. Now, let's talk about what happens next after you do that. Okay. When you ask for their thoughts, it's an open ended question, but the types of answers that you'll get are actually rather limited. So let's go over what they are. So chances are they will say, I love it. I love it. Came out great. And that's when you ask for the sale. Great. Then let's take the next step. All I need is a credit card number to put the $499 setup fee on. Give us about a week and we'll have the site ready for launch. I can process a Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Which one do you want to use? That's it. We're asking for the sale. And they read off the card to you. Or if you want, you can actually send them a link to safely and securely submit their credit card information online using our client billing system. Actually, they can submit it to you while you're talking to them. So that's pretty cool. But you're not guaranteed that they'll say that they love it. So what if they say something like, I like it, but I see some things that need to be changed. Okay. I personally love this response because if they're making changes to the site, that means that they've already mentally purchased it. They've taken ownership of it already. They might say something like, we don't really do commercial roofing. Okay. Or we want to mention emergency repairs or whatever. Fine, perfect. Since the SiteSwan platform makes it so easy to make simple changes like that, it won't affect your timeline for launching at all. It's not going to bog you down. It's not going to add exponentially more hours or time to get this site prepped for launch. So you can say, okay, no problem. I can make those changes for you. All I need is a credit card to put the $499 setup fee on, and we'll take care of all those changes and have the site ready to launch in about 1 week. And the reason we recommend that is because you don't want to do any more work for them for free. You've proven your worth, you've proven your capabilities. You don't need to make more changes before they submit payment. It's very reasonable and realistic to expect payment at this point in the sales process, even if the site is not 100% to their liking. Now, it's still possible that they are not ready to make a decision right now. And for some reason, let's classify that as anything but a yes. Okay. So, what you want to do in this scenario is find out as much as you possibly can. If they say, I got to talk to my partner and they're on vacation, well, ask when he or she will be back and what their name is. So, when you call back, you could say, oh, hey, I'm reaching out. I'm curious if whatever, Suzanne is back from vacation, if you get a chance to look at the site with them. Gather as much info as you can. Or if they say, this is not what I had in mind. Then you say, well, can you tell me or describe to me what you did have in mind? You got to get more details from them so you can properly understand their roadblock. I remember one time I was talking to a business owner and I showed them the site and they said, "Oh, Justin, you guys totally missed the mark. This is just not what I was thinking." And I said, "Oh my God. All right, how do we go wrong?" Because this red, it's totally not right. We have like this dark, like brick red, and you use like this bright red throughout the entire site. It's all wrong. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking. I don't know how we made that mistake, but you know what? I will eat that change and I will make that color change for you. So aside from the color, does everything else look good? Oh yeah, it looks great. So you got to dig a little bit. You'll be very surprised with what people will say. So, but look, if that doesn't happen and they're just, they're not giving you the yes, they're not willing to move forward at this time. Here is what you could say. You could say, I'm disappointed to know that we can't take the next step right now, but I understand. While you are under no obligation to give me payment today, I just want to let you know I would need to take this site offline if you're not ready to move forward. I just have to protect the work that we put into this. I got to clear up the hosting space. I mean, when should I follow up with you? And that's the thing, following up is critical. If you don't get their credit card information on this call, you've got to follow up. Stats have shown that the majority of sales happen only after the seventh or the eighth or the ninth or the 10th time that the salesperson has gotten in touch with the prospects. You got to follow up if you don't get the immediate sale. Now, before I let you go, I have some tips for success that I want to share with you. And first, be sure to minimize or eliminate distractions by scheduling a time to do the homepage presentation that's convenient for your client. You want their undivided attention if possible. So when you do schedule it, try to get a feel for if they will be able to focus on the conversation. It should, as I just did, it should take less than 10 minutes. Okay. Next, before you get into the presentation, please make sure they're actively in front of their computer. You heard me ask that during the beginning of the presentation. It's always best that when they are accessing the site for the very first time, they're doing it from as large a screen as possible so they can fully appreciate the beauty of the entire design. Third, be prepared. Practice what you're going to say prior to presenting the site to the client. This will ensure you touch on the most important parts, stick to the rules that I gave you, which will result in a smooth presentation that's optimized for success. Lastly, this one's optional, but I like it. Focus on just the homepage like I did. To assist with this, you'll want to go in and hide the content on the other pages of the site. I'll tell you why I like to do it because one of the questions I would get asked is, "Oh, wow, this came out really nice, but wait, what's on the other pages of the site?" And then you'd be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! I only did the homepage for you for free to make sure that you like the direction I'm going in," which I take it you do. So, look, all I need is a credit card for the setup fee, and I'll get the rest of the pages completed for you in about a week. All right, you got me? I think you do. And that's it. Look, this is my best kept secret for selling websites. Actually, kind of feels good to finally let you all in on it, the inner workings of it, and I'm sure you have some questions. So let's see if we can pull those up. And holy cow, yes, you do. Okay. No, it looks like my moderator is doing a pretty good job answering them. Okay, I'm going to select a few that I think everyone would like to maybe hear the answers to. Please don't get offended if I don't read your question out loud. I promise, though, if they haven't already, my moderators will answer your question. All right, I like this one. All right, Ginger from Georgia is saying, is it better to present a site face to face or over the phone? I knew you were going to ask this. Like, I can tell you from firsthand experience, either way works. They're both equally effective. I personally prefer to sell sites over the phone. I just feel it's a lot more efficient. You don't have to waste time driving to and from the business. You can, make these use. Look, we keep our prices very, very affordable, and part of that is be able to do remote sales as opposed to having to, you know, um, drive to your business and occupy the time and the resources necessary to do that. I don't think anyone will object to you insisting on doing a phone presentation. When I was selling sites, like 90% of them were done over the phone, so it's totally, totally doable. John from Arvada, Colorado says, "Do I need Zoom or another screen sharing program like what I'm using now for the website presentation?" No, you don't. I mean, you might think that you do based on what I just did with you because I was scrolling for you, but you can easily walk your client through the scrolling process and they won't get lost. So no. Could you use it? Sure, but I just think it's overkill and not necessary. A phone does the job. All right, here's one from Anonymous. Okay, Anonymous. They say, you mentioned collecting payment information and charging a setup fee. When do I charge the monthly fee? Okay, good. So, so I think I mentioned it, but I always recommend clearly collecting that payment information, charging the setup fee immediately after the client says yes. You can, at that point, though, when you're collecting that setup fee, you can actually schedule the first monthly payment to start. I would do it 30 days out. So if if it's the 21st of the month, you're charging the setup fee, get their first monthly fee to be on the 21st of the following month. And that's very easy to do with our client billing system. It's all built in specifically for that functionality, so you can do automatic recurring payments. How about this one from Gary in Oklahoma? If a prospect is not interested in moving forward, how long should I keep the site online for? Look, if the business owner says no, or not now, or we need to think about it, or whatever, take the site offline immediately. Tell them that you're going to do it, but take it offline immediately. You've got to protect your work, and that's really the best strategy. Susie from Missouri is asking if she can hire a salesperson. Absolutely. Especially if you're shy or uncomfortable with sales, you just want to scale quicker. You should definitely hire a sales rep. I see a lot of people, they're able to afford that right out of the gates, by splitting the setup fee with the salesperson. You give them a couple $100 or 50% of the setup fee while you're generating recurring income from the monthly fee. So you get the recurring monthly income and you split the setup. Something like that usually works out pretty well for people. Fareed wrote, uh, today's webinar was awesome. Good, I'm glad you liked it. Very insightful. Will you be sending out a recording of this so I can share with my team? Yes, 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 yes. I'm glad you found it insightful. I appreciate that. We will be sending out a recording probably later today or tomorrow, but the replay will start as soon as I click end on this session here today. So if you want, you can stick around and watch it from the beginning. Cindy, hey Cindy. Cindy says, "Hi, I'm thinking about joining SiteSwan. It sounds like a terrific opportunity. How many themes do you have though?" Cool. Well, I hope you found today's webinar helpful as well. We currently have over 200 themes, and we're always adding more. I'd say we release like one or two new themes every single week, so it's constantly growing. All right, let me take one more. Here's one. Uh, when do we connect the client's domain name? Is it before we send them the link? No. So if you go back and watch what I was doing in the presentation there, you're going to use the URL, the demo URL that our system provides you with. You do not connect the clients.com or .net to the site until after they have paid you the setup fee and given you authorization to start the monthly fee. That is the only time you're going to connect a domain, and that process is very straightforward. All right, I'm going to stop here out of respect for everyone's time. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Um, I hope you have a great rest of the day, a rest of the week, a rest of the month, whatever's left of it. Reach out to us or your account rep if you have any other questions you didn't think to ask during this session. We look forward to working with each and every one of you if we are not already. So take care and cue the replay.